All right, and we are live. Happy Tuesday, happy live stream. You know how it works. We're going to give a second, everyone jump in here. And for me to get things set up on Instagram as well. One moment, and we'll be go live there. And there we go. On Instagram as well, you can drop your say what's up in the chat, and we will shout you out, all that fun stuff. I'll also give you a few minutes to get in here. And in the meantime, I will read the intro. All right. Hello and welcome to the Bellwether Ritual live stream where we discuss music, local Lehigh Valley, PA scene and beyond, bands, social media, and more. Today is Tuesday, October 1st. Happy official spooky season. Looking forward to some Halloween gigs that we have coming up at the end of the month, which is cool. So my name is Mike, and I'm the guitarist and vocalist of Bellwether Ritual. I hope you had a great week. Just a reminder that we do have shows on October 25th and 27th down in Phoenixville and New Hope. So check out our website. We just launched that as well, bellwetherritual.com, and you can find all those dates on there. And we just had our CD printed. We just got them back. So we have a physical CD now of our EP Windbag. So please go there to check it out or check it out at a show. And just a reminder to please like and subscribe if you like what we do here and support local musicians and music. All right, tonight our guest is Todd DeMod. Todd DeMod is the owner of the Starving Artist Cafe in Stockton, New Jersey. They serve homestyle Americana and rustic Italian cuisine and host the area's best live music. Todd, how you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, brother. Yeah, it's really cool to be here, man. It's good stuff.
Of course, we're going to shout out Katie Coppahay for putting this together as well. She had suggested you, so that's always awesome to see. And I just want to shout out a couple people in Instagram. We have Studio One Thrift. Martha, thank you for jumping on. Tobner Not, thank you for jumping on. D Perry 72211, thank you for jumping on. Tobner Not Band says, right on, boys. Yeah, man. Thank you for jumping on and commenting. We appreciate that. Let us know if you want us to talk about anything in particular. All right. Let's see. Todd, anything that you want to plug right off the top? Obviously, you have your place. Just tell us a little bit about that and what's coming
Hey,
up
I
there.
want to know how come I haven't done your band yet. Where'd you play in
Yeah,
New Hope, man? Where did
good
you play?
question.
John and
Oh,
Peters, or
John and Peters. Yeah. So on
yeah,
the
we love those guys. They're
27th.
dear friends of ours, man.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, yeah. I've actually never played there, believe it or not. Just gone to shows. So that'll be an exciting one for me. Yeah.
Everybody wants to play John and Peters, man. There's a lot of history there. It's the last of the dive bars.
Really?
And I'll be there October 13th with their North by New Hope
Awesome. All
festival on
right.
Sunday night at 7 o'clock, doing the final night of that. But a lot of good bands that whole weekend. It's something they put together every year. So a lot of the New Hope, the guys from the Invitational that play there Wednesday night at John and Peters, and it's
What's
going to
it
be a
called?
real fun show. And we've got Jesse Ketchell's songwriter showcase at the Starving Artists this Sunday afternoon too. We'll be hosting that, and it's all about, man, so much cool music, and I've got a great venue for everybody. I've got all the equipment there, and we look like a funky little roadhouse, and you know um we're all in it to win it. We believe what we're doing. I'm a small business owner. I have no backing. I came
Yeah.
into it with nothing but a lot of experience and a lot of determination. So, we're starting to turn some heads, and we've got just a really great vibe down in Stockton right now. Great little river town. And like I said, we're dear friends with John and Peters. We, want to cross to a lot of our artists, do some things together, and just continue on promoting music on both sides of the river where we're at.
Awesome. And there's so many like parallels. I hear you talking about that and setting that up and being an entrepreneur and all that. And there's so many ties to like being in a band. It's the same thing. We're in the same boat here. We're all
Yeah.
trying to accomplish the same thing. So yeah, that's why community is so important. Can you maybe just talk a little bit about like starting the cafe and like where it came from and where the idea came from, when you started it, how that all happened?
Well, pretty much 40 years in the food business of doing everything you can imagine, from executive fine dining chef to a wholesale meat cutter in the 80s, Italian markets, Whole Foods market. So I really ran the gamut. I opened up a ton of places, And after a 40-year career, I started More Than Q Barbecue Company that opened in Lamberville. And we
Okay.
started the whole music scene there to tie it in with music. And at age 61, which was just recently, I finally decided about a year ago that, we work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week in this industry. So I figured that I might as well do it for myself. This was my, last shot. I saw a great location and I really wanted to tie in, the two things that I did my whole life as a bar band playing musician, original singer songwriter for years.
Cool. Oh,
Um,
yeah, I
I,
saw
I
that. Yeah,
it was I thought it was a great opportunity to bring two things together. Hey, this is my last hurrah, and two things that I enjoy, and so many musicians are tied in with music and artists, and we all struggle in it. We bust our asses every day with it, and can be thankless at times. But we hang in there because we think we got something to bring, and we've
love
got a
it.
great community following with it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing I think I've been being taught over and over again is like you just have to do what you love because even if you do something for money, at the end of the day, it's not going to replace what you really love to do. So yeah,
Right, right. You know what? I've never been broker and I've never been happier. So
yeah. So what was the? Let me think here. So do you have like bands on certain days of the week? How do you schedule all that stuff out?
pretty much doing we're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, but we've started up live music with the dinners at 6 o'clock on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Friday morning we have JB Klein, who's a local legend, owns a music store in Lamberville. He does his live Facebook feed at my place on Friday mornings from 10 to
Oh,
11. He
cool.
brings a local player with him. And then Friday nights, we have live music, locals night, 6 to 9. Saturday night, we like to feature a lot of bands. I did Tommy Stinson from the Replacements and
Yeah,
Guns N' Roses
Guns N'
touring
Roses.
bass player for 8 years, a half a year ago. So we really want to start because we do all the local guys, but well, we want to become a premier kind of show place too. So, I have all my guitars there, to come in and see. It's a live stage. It can be put on any time, and we have people. We're in a tourist town, so I
Yeah.
had a girl not too long ago stop in from Argentina and saw the guitars and said, "Hey, can I play you a song?" So it's that kind of place. It's a player's place,
That's
and
cool.
they can come in and within 2 minutes, man, you can be playing live and play for your lunch.
Oh, very cool. All right. Hillary Brown, thank you for joining and thank you for doing the live stream last week. It was great with Joe, Oracle of Jupiter. Go check that one out. And SW Dolan, thank you for joining as well. Let's see here. What else I got for you? Oh, let's talk about your musician. Where did you start that? Actually, you know what? Before we go there, are you from the area originally or did you move in from
Yeah,
somewhere else?
I'm originally from a little town called Bordentown, right on the river.
Oh,
Right,
cool.
if you were the, 10 minutes from Trenton area, I'm Mercer County, Trenton, always a Jersey guy,
Yeah, yeah.
and started playing music when I was 16, 17 in the late 70s. I was very lucky. My brother became one of the biggest promoters on the East Coast in the early 80s, a guy named Randy Now, who would
Wow,
book
that's
a place
awesome.
called City Gardens and did every band from Nirvana, Green Day, Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, Joan Jett. So I got a
Wow.
chance to open for the Ramones back in the early 80s there
That's
at
awesome.
age 17, 18, and was a singer songwriter in an original three-piece band called Smart Remarks.
All right, cool.
Um, just recently got a tune, one of my songs from 1984 from an EP, got picked up by Netflix 3 years ago and used in Stranger Things.
Oh, wow.
Um, and season 3, episode 3, they used a small soundbite from there. So that was kind of cool, after 35
Yeah.
years, that's something I did in 1984 would come back. All the Smart Remark stuff was re-released on vinyl by a Brooklyn-based company called Captured Tracks. There was a resurgence for all this 80s. And
Mhm.
they released it about 4 years ago, all the old stuff from my band and everything. And don't you know, it caught Netflix and Stranger Things' ears with their 80s format and, went back and forth for 8 months. I never thought it would really happen. And they ended up using a soundbite from us. So it was
Well, that's
cool.
awesome. So wait, like, was it you did a recording for a company, like a record company back in the day that,
Well,
and then someone brought it
I did
out?
a single in 1982, and then we
Uh-huh,
did a 4 song EP in 1985,
uh-huh.
and all this power pop and stuff would come back like a couple years ago. There was just
Yeah.
this resurgence for
Oh, yeah.
80s bands. We were featured on a lot of power pop compilations from the 80s. And people went from here to Portland and to Portugal. So I
Mhm.
mean, I've sent stuff over to Tokyo, Japan lately. So all this stuff
Oh,
kind
that's
of came
cool.
back,
Yeah.
and it was all. I was contacted by this Brooklyn-based record company about 6 years ago, saying, "Hey, man, we want to re-release all your stuff." And
No, that's awesome.
I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? It was stuff I did when I was 20 years old. I'm 60 now. It's funny.
What do
I
you
could barely play guitar at that point, but it comes
what do you
back, and finally you get your due date. 35 years later.
what do you think about that? Like, when you look back on that, because I look back on my recordings from when I was 20, I'm like, "Hell no. There's no
Well,
way that'd be on
it's
there."
still, because you're this young man. It's 1983, and like you have angst. The
Yeah.
world is partying. It's that time, and man, you're just thinking you're just going to be a rock star, and like you said, you're writing these. You go back and there's like songs where you mentioned your mom and dad not letting you out of the house and shit.
Yeah.
And
What else
here
people
it
started
comes
about?
back at age 60 playing
Yeah.
on a show. And I'm like, wow, man, things have really changed since 1984.
I do love that about music though, because that's the great thing about having a catalog, because every time you release a new record, everyone goes to your back catalog, if they like it, I guess I should say. Everyone goes back to your back catalog, and then it's like, yeah, it kind of keeps on
Right. And,
doing that.
we all start as punk rockers
Yeah.
and then now where I sit, like I'm a solo acoustic guy, we all turn into Bob Dylan. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We all turn
Yeah.
into these solo folky,
Yeah.
one guitar guy and leave all our effects and electric guitars behind us.
Strip it
We
all back
become
down.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, very cool. Let's see here. Well, how about the Ramones? I'm not gonna gloss over that story. So opening for the Ramones must have been mind blowing, especially at that age. Like,
It
did
was
you have?
really super cool. I got a chance to work road crew with him too for a couple
Oh,
times
cool.
in the early
Yeah.
'90s.
Oh,
Opening
very
for
cool.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts was probably the biggest thing for us. We were juniors in high school, and that was there was 1,400 people for that show, and Joan had just come out was just starting to break.
Yeah.
And to be to be ushered through the crowd from the dressing room at 17 and play in front of 1,200 people, and literally
Yeah.
we had a handful of songs,
Yeah.
and and just I got the opportunity to do that and meet Joan Jett, and
Yeah.
at 17 or 18, what a thrill, man.
That's what it's all about. What were you like nervous at all? Were you like, no, bring it on, I want to
Yeah,
do
oh,
this?
very,
Yeah.
and the Ramones like are a band that just like will bolt in the door like 10 minutes because they have such a great road crew. They would bolt in the
Yeah.
door about 10 minutes before they play. But we got to hang out with. They were super cool, and I've met a lot of great bands. Man, we opened up for Haircut 100, who had the biggest song in the world with Love Plus One in like 1982, and a bunch of British guys that couldn't have treated us any nicer. We were kids, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good that there's still like that out there, you know? Well, I hope anyway. I know
Yeah, yeah.
you just have to find them. That's all. I think the internet's like great because it gives you, well, it's great and awful at the same time because it gives you access to everything, but it gives you access to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see here. How about what advice would you have? Like, you're booking bands at your place. What are you looking for? And then what advice would you have to someone who is either trying to book your place or maybe just starting out?
Hey man, I love it all. I listen to everything from, Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies to Sinatra. I'm a music lover. I love every bit of it. So we certainly aren't a place that says, well, we don't. I've had guys Want to do spoken word. And so, like,
Oh,
with the
yeah.
whole thing of that, we're sure about the art, no matter what it is. I have a pretty open mind to someone coming in, and usually 9 times out of 10, I'll book guys that I think, like, oh, here we go. This is a guy like, my age, and, his heyday was 40 years ago, plays in his room, and then wants to come up and hammer some songs like a dad, like, and they come up and they play, and I go like, oh my God, these guys are fantastic.
You
And
just
and
never
and
know.
I'm surprised more times out of time I see guys that just, I'm like, how are you still not playing? How were you never signed to a record contract? And I've seen a million guys in my 40 years, man. My brother, I've worked with the biggest bands.
Mhm.
I've booked bands, and I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10, these little guys in our communities that come out of nowhere, man, they're dynamite. And I'm really glad I gave
Mhm.
them the chance. So really, I'm really busy because a lot of guys just think like, Todd, I called you, man. I want to get my band in there. You didn't get back to me. You have to keep in consideration, I'm
Sure.
running a restaurant. I'm the head chef. I'm the dishwasher. I'm the
Mhm.
owner. I'm the promoter. So I'm
Yeah.
really, really busy. And the food means every bit as much as the music. They are 50-50. So,
Mhm.
in between, like, butchering meat and cooking stews and everything, I
Mhm.
will get back to you, man, and we will talk music, and we'll get you in there. But what I like about our place is that many places will boast live music. Hey, we have live music. What they do is they shove the performer in a corner, or they don't talk to him the rest of the night, and it's just like what we do is, I book guys that I pretty much, I pretty much know what I'm getting. I do some research, or they may have a little following, and what we do is we're there to promote them. It's a night with them. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to do a dinner with it too, and I really don't charge for music. What I want you to do is I want you to come in and eat our food. Come in and grab a bite to eat and make a reservation and stay for the show. So it's like almost like the old school dinner clubs that would go on even in the
Yeah.
40s and 50s. But we
Yeah.
want to give you dinner and a show, and it's around the band. I promote them all week long, and I probably hired you because I think you're really good, and I want people to see you. And you might not be from this area. There's the same guys that play the same places all around here, and that's all good. That's super
Mhm.
good. But I get cats from Brooklyn, New
Yeah.
York, and I know that they're not going to bring a following from in my place. It's not about how many seats can you fill for me. I
Yeah.
get that. I was in bar bands for 40 years. I played to nobody plenty of times.
Mhm.
And I know you could have the greatest night and the greatest band, still nobody show up. So
Mhm.
it's that kind of gig, but we're there to expose you, and especially get players into that don't normally, you just don't see in the area, that I think are really good and should be seen. So we want to help people.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, really. I think, like you're saying, that I do see a lot of talented people out there. I always feel like they kind of, well, not. I'll say this about me because I did for a long time. I always missed the community element of it. Like I would just focus on like, oh, I gotta get really good at guitar, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, and skills, and
Right.
then everything else fall into place. But really, that's couldn't be further from the truth. So, um, when you're trying to start something like this, where do you like? I'm trying to think back to this too. I guess, do you start with marketing? Is that like if you're trying to launch something like as in an entrepreneur way, like you're the cafe or a band?
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah, curious.
I started it out with the whole barbecue gig because I thought, well, man, okay, well, Stubbs out in Austin, Texas,
Oh
and
yeah,
all these places are doing, like, they're winding music in with it too. Man,
yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
honky tonk, like a little place you'd see in Nashville. So that's what I created at More Than Q Barbecue, and
Oh
then
yeah, in
you,
Houston.
I knew so many musicians and everything, but to start that whole vibe, believe me, when I started it in Lambertville for a good year, we would do it in shows in the afternoon, and nobody would come out. And we
Mhm.
still hung with it, man. I really believed
Yeah,
in it. I thought it was cool, and
yeah,
little by little now, it has caught on. But it's one of those things. Boy, you have to stick in there, man, because you're going to have plenty of days where no one's going to show up, and you
yeah,
thought it would be the greatest thing ever, and you think these guys are
and it
the
might
greatest
be.
band ever,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's tough, man.
Yeah, I feel like you have to curate, like you have to be good at consistently curating an experience for people, and then
Yeah. And our
once that
place is
goes
really
out.
cool and funky, and it's very comfortable. And I've got a very small staff, but I got a great staff, and everybody is totally into it. And like I said, with the vibe that we have going there, it's super super cool. And like with so many area musicians, there's guys that'll hop up and play guitar. Or after the
Yeah.
show's over, there's guys hanging out, and they'll pick up my guitars and they'll sit there for an half an hour and play. And that's the community aspect of it. That's
Mhm.
the old fashioned small town thing that I dig and I see
Yeah.
with it. And
You
it's a
said
good
some
night for me, man. I got to tell you. I mean, it's um, if you're going to work 7 days a week, 16 hours a day or so, hey, you might as well entertain yourself with your favorite bands.
yeah,
Because I
can't be
can't go
better
out
like
to see them usually because the restaurant takes all my time. So I figure,
it.
hey, I'll just book them and you play for me, and we'll enjoy it, and we'll get people to hear you.
Very good, good call. You had mentioned something before. I was taking notes over here, as you were talking. Not paying for getting in. I love that idea, and I know people, especially bands, are like, "What are you talking about? No cover." And I'm like, I would rather have people. I'd rather have the barrier to entry be as low as possible to get people in there, and then we have like merch to sell. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. I'm more worried about connecting with these people who are here to see us, and at the very least, leave them with a great experience and maybe some freebies, so that's more
Sure.
important to me.
Sure, and there are those music lovers out there looking for bands like yours, and just don't want the mainstream thing. That are true music lovers out there, and
Mhm.
hey, man, they'll pick up your CD.
Yep,
And like you said, we do it. It's just like a chef. You work like an animal and everything. You don't make any money, just like a
yep,
musician. But
yep.
at the end of the day, when I stand at that door and a group goes out and says, "Hey, man, that food was phenomenal. We had a great time here with the music." If you had a great time, well, man, hey, I guess that's what yeah, how rich are we ever going to be? No richer, no poorer, but we had a great night, and somebody had some fun, man. And we did the right thing. We entertained some people.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a yeah, the whole wealth thing too. There was a point where like, oh, I figured out, well, not figured out, but like you talk to enough people and like, oh, these people are like have generational wealth. This isn't something that you just blow up and get. So once I had that too, it's a little bit more like, okay, this is just where I'm gonna be. Let's just find what makes me happy and go from there.
Right,
Uh,
right.
let's see here. All right, a couple more quick ones here. So our drummer is also, I don't know what he does. He works in the kitchen. I'm not sure if he's actually a chef or not. He is a audio engineer, but he also does kitchen work. And I'm not, and he just
He's an
basically,
animal, then, man. He's a
yeah,
complete animal.
he is.
He
He just cut
works.
like,
No matter what he does, he
yeah,
works.
yeah, and he knows how to hustle, which is awesome too. So shout out Breton. But he just cut like a quarter of his thumb off.
Yeah,
And
you got to be careful, man. I cut my fingers too sometimes, man. It'll wipe you
yeah,
out. You got to be really careful. I'm surprised I
yeah,
still have them all after 40 years, man.
yeah,
I've
that's what I'm
chopped
thinking,
off a
man.
bit of
Oh my
one thumb.
god. Which one? Left or right? I'm trying to think which was
It's
worse.
oh my goodness, it's like a point. I've chopped off because I'm a right-hander. So
Yeah,
from going down
yeah,
with a knife like this,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
taken off in 40 years. Pretty much, if you look at that thumb, it's like a point. Luckily, all my
yeah,
fingers still there. But
yeah,
yeah, man, you
yeah.
got to watch that.
I was thinking about it today, just grateful that that's all that functions and still can play and do all that fun stuff. How about your best dish? What do you like to make the most, or what do you think your
Um,
best
I
dish is?
love. I mean, I've done rustic Italian mostly. I love doing sautés and pastas. Man, I do a mean vodka sauce, and I was a chef in the Italian restaurants in the '80s when all these
Uh,
cool dishes were popping, like chicken marsala and all
yeah,
the classics, man. They're
yeah,
my favorites. Chicken sautés, doing pastas, fresh pastas. Just fresh basil, the best olive oil. You know what I mean? Less is more. As I've gotten older, I've found
yeah,
that out, and
yeah,
but I was a meat guy forever, so we'll do primate steaks and We like to butcher them up and really cut
Yeah.
some nice stuff. And but we every plate, we really make eye catching for you and simple, and everything's hyper controlled because it's all me. And so, hey man, if you're not happy, you come to me. But one good thing about in a small environment like this is that look, I'm doing the buying, I'm selecting. We buy local. I go to local fleet. We go to local farms. We try to keep it as local as we can. And I buy everything. I prepare it. I fix it. I cook it, and then I scrub it off of a pie at the end of the night. So we really hyper control it, and so it kind of keeps it, the quality. And this as being like, my presentation to you, not just a restaurant, not just a place that does live music, but,
Yeah.
from start to finish, it's a show that we open up every day for you. We want you to have fun. We want you to be comfortable. The environment, the vibe, and, we will overfeed you. We will treat you like you're with your
The true
grandmother.
Italian way. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I've worked in all Italian joints, dated all Italian women, but I'm Hungarian Yugoslav. I should be making chicken paprikash, really. But
Hey,
I worked in so many Italian
yeah.
restaurants, and it was crazy.
You gotta find what works for you. That's funny. Angel, I was gonna say Angel's probably on her way down to you right now because she says that sounds lovely. And then Studio Martha of Studio One Thrift says, "What is the name and location of the cafe?" I can quickly read that off if you want. That's the Starving Artist Cafe, 18 Bridge Street, Stockton, New Jersey. And she also asks, "What's the contact information for bands?" So where can they get that info?
Just call the restaurant. You can call the restaurant at 609-483-2219.
Mhm.
And I'll be there, and let me know. Or if you're in the area, like I said, because I'm always busy, stop in, say hi,
Yeah,
introduce yourself.
that's
We'll
always a great
talk
way,
for
right?
5 or 10 minutes, and believe me, if we're getting pretty booked up almost for the year now, but we still have slots, and we'll still create slots. I've got a live stage 24/7 when we're open, so
All right, great.
we'll get you in there, man, for sure. We want you in there.
All right, let's see. I think that's probably that just takes us to about time. Do you just want to plug everything one more time? Just let everyone know where they can get a hold of you or whatever they need or where
If you know the New Hope Lambert, like a lot of people will hear Stockton and they will think Stockton State College down near Atlantic
oh,
City.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this is in Stockton, New Jersey. So basically, if you know New Hope, Lambertville, we're five
Yeah.
minutes down the road or 10 minutes over the bridge from New Hope and everything. So we're right
Right.
on the river town there. It's a great little town. We've got free parking all around, and the towns are getting very tough with parking. But
Mm.
Stockton, we're right on the corner. We have a funky place with all skeletons. We love skeletons. And
Oh,
we're truly bringing, we all talk about supporting small business. I am a small business guy. Like I said, we live day to day
yeah.
sometimes. So, we really appreciate you coming in. Nobody says you have to. We're really great. You can book private parties with us where we close the doors, man. And, I give you any kind of cuisine you want. You can mostly there's musicians, and the musicians can play while you're in there doing the party. And, so you can have like a whole rock and roll joint to yourself for hours, so I like using the Starving Artist Cafe that way. You know what I mean? You're booking your own little private funky place, and what
Yeah.
it would cost you to do the same thing at a firehouse. So, and I work with
Great.
you every bit of the way. And when we're in there on your party with you, having as much fun as, everybody else is. So,
Yeah. That's a
we're
cool
a
option for
small
bands too.
business in this world of cookie cutter and big restaurant groups all around my area. I mean,
Yeah.
we are truly just a bunch of paupers that are very determined to bring something really, really good. And it is financially very tough when you are not backed and you don't have tons of money. But we make it day to day and week to week. And we really believe in it. We're just getting started. And I think once you come out, man, you'll totally get it. And you're not never a customer. You'll become a friend. Everybody becomes friends at my place. There's no customers. You're a customer once, and then everybody, and it's all musicians and artists, and we
Yeah,
seem
that's
to
a
draw
great thing.
all the same loves and everything. And it's a place for anybody, man. No dress code. Come as you are, man.
Very
Bring the
cool. All right.
weird.
There's plenty of it. Yeah.
There's
Um,
plenty of them. Believe me, from the people that run it to the people that come through the door, man. Bring it. We
yep.
we don't judge, man. We love, one love at my place, man.
Very cool. All right. Well, Martha from Studio One Thrift says thank you. She definitely will visit. So that's great to
I
hear. And
hope
yeah,
to see her. Tell her to introduce herself. I will be there unless I die. Let's
yeah.
hope that doesn't happen because I haven't achieved anything yet. So,
That's not true. Not
but
maybe
hey,
not what you
thank
want,
you
but yeah,
for having me on, man, and thank
absolutely.
you for doing these super cool things and promoting, local
Yeah, of
people,
course,
and you don't
man.
know how
Yeah.
much it means to us.
All right, there you go. Todd Damad, owner of the Starving Artist Cafe in Stockton, New Jersey. Go check them out. And if you're a band, definitely hit them up and play there
Yeah,
soon.
man, we got plenty of room. Come in and play, man.
All right, everyone. Until next week, thank you for